Good evening and Happy New Year. My name is Louis Imhoff, Clerk to the Board of Chosen Freeholders, and I would like to welcome you to the Passaic County Technical Institute and thank you for attending this evening's swearing-in ceremony for our County Clerk and my wife, Danielle Ireland Imhoff, and freeholders Assad Doctor, John Bartlett, and Cassandra Sandy Lazara. It is my great honor to introduce tonight's Master of Ceremonies, Anthony J. DeNova III, County Administrator for the County of Passaic.
Thank you, Louis, and welcome everyone to the ceremony and swearing in of our county clerk and our freeholders. At this time, I'd like to call upon the Passaic County Technical Institute Navy Junior ROTC and the Passaic County Sheriff's Department Honor Guard to present the colors.
Honor Guard!
Please stand. This time I'd like to call upon Anthony Van Cherry, St. Patterson Veterans Council, and Mr. John Harris, Passaic County Veterans Service Officer, to lead us in the flag salute.
Greetings and arms!
Please join John and I in saluting the flag that represents the greatest country in the world. Flag of our country, salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
I would ask that you please remain standing. We call upon Mark Zielinski, who's going to sing for us, America the Beautiful. There you go, buddy. Knock him down.
Oh, beautiful, for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesty, above the fruited plains. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
And now I'd like to call upon former freeholder and the current mayor of the great city of Passaic to lead us in an invocation. Call upon Mayor Hector Laura.
Please bow your heads. The scriptures read in Psalm 127, "Unless the Lord builds a house, the laborers labor in vain." The scriptures also read in Psalm 24, that the earth is the Lord's, and all that dwell in it belong to him. We come before you, Lord, in reverence of your holiness, to present today's ceremony before you. We ask, because we know that you are holy, that you examine each of our hearts and forgive us in any way where we may not honor you. We thank you for the many blessings that each and every one of us have received throughout the year. We consider, Lord, that we are here once again with the great privilege of continuing to do the work of the County of Passaic in these offices that you have allowed each of these individuals to hold. We thank you for that. We understand that on that great day, when we all find ourselves before the highest throne of all creation, it will not be the titles that you are concerned with. It will not be all of the achievements that we believe were important, but rather, what did we do for others? For there is a common thread, a theme that connects all of the faiths, and that theme is serving others. Serving others in a way that honors you and blesses the communities that we live in. I ask for a special anointing and blessing over each and every one of the officials here, those that have been elected and those who continue to serve. I ask that you would watch over them, that you would bless our governor, our senators, our assembly members, our party chairs, our freeholders, our council members, our mayors, all those in elected office and appointed positions. I ask that you would give us wisdom, for you are the beginning of wisdom, that you would fill our hearts with love and compassion, that we would remember that we are here to do for others as we would have them do for us. And I ask, Lord Almighty, that we would always be willing to sacrifice, that we would place ourselves second and another first, so that we may serve in a way, again, that honors you and blesses our community. I thank you for this opportunity where these individuals may be sworn in and present this ceremony before your holy name. Amen.
Dismiss the colors.
On guard! Right! Face! Outward! March! Left! 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 Right! Left! 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 Right! Left! 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 Left, right, left, left.
You may be seated. Thank you. I'm going to call upon our new county clerk to read the results of the 2018 general election. Danielle, Ireland, in
Good evening, everyone. One of the duties of the county clerk's office is certifying the election results of the county. It is my honor to read the results of the November 6, 2018 general election for the winning county-level offices that were listed on the ballot. Passaic County's election results were transmitted and certified to the office of the New Jersey Secretary of State, Passaic County's own, and former Passaic County freeholder, the Honorable Tahisha Way, on November 19, 2018. The November 6, 2018 general election in Passaic County saw a voter turnout of 49% of the registered voters in the county. This equates to 154,678 ballots cast. And as a point of reference, this was the second highest percentage of voter turnout seen in Passaic County over the course of the past 6 years. The results are as follows. For the positions of Passaic County freeholder, Assad Akhtar received 79,459 votes, with a plurality of 25,037. John Bartlett received 80,573 votes, with a plurality of 27,336. And Cassandra Sandy Lazara received 82,922 votes, with a plurality of 28,370. And for my results, I'm going to turn it back over to our Passaic County Administrator, Mr. Tanova.
Because of her modesty, she didn't want to read her own results. It's a good quality, right? For the position of Passaic County Clerk, Danielle Ireland Inhofe received 81,620 votes. Winning by a plurality of over 24,000 votes. At this time, I'm going to call upon Assemblyman Tom Giblin to administer the oath of office to Ms. Danielle Ireland Imhoff. I'd ask Danielle's family to step forward.
Just at the outset for 30 seconds, I just want to say I consider it a personal honor to have the opportunity to swear in Danielle Ireland Imhoff as the Passaic County Clerk. I know that I can share this with all the people assembled here, that we have the utmost confidence that she'll really do a tremendous job as County Clerk. She's a class act, beautiful inside on the outside, and all of us certainly wish you well, Danielle, in the future. I'll administer the oath of office to you at this time, and I know you have a fair amount of family here and supporters that certainly are behind you 100%. So if you'll use your name, I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state under the authority of the people, that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all of the duties of County Clerk to the best of my abilities and understanding. So help me God. Let's hear from Danielle Ireland Imhoff.
So with that swearing in, the Imhoffs now become the power brokers here. At this time, I'd like to introduce a man that we all owe a great deal to. Every good organization needs a good leader. Every great team needs a great coach. We're fortunate to have that all wrapped up in one. When John Curry became the leader of Passaic County Democratic Organizations, we held, I think, only one office at the time, our surrogate. And today, with the swearing in of Danielle, the Democrats now hold every countywide elected office. But for those of us who live in Passaic County, we all know the leadership qualities that John Curry has shown us, and he has taught me so much about governing, has constantly told me that good government makes for good politics, and I think it is shown here this evening. The state has gotten to know what we all know here in Passaic County, that he is a leader, that he builds bridges, that he mends fences, and when you listen to his wisdom, you will have victory. And in New Jersey, we now have all but one congressional seat represented by a Democrat. Things like that don't happen by accident. Countless number of freeholders elected statewide, as well as mayors and council people, it was thought Democrats could never win. Our chairman, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you very much, Tony. Please have a seat. First of all, to our Chief School Administrator, Mrs. Labasco, and Dr. Parent, thank you again for allowing us into your beautiful home, the home of one of the best technical schools, if not the best, not only in the United States of America, but definitely in New Jersey. You do a fantastic job, and thanks for what you do for our kids. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, it's my distinct pleasure and honor to see you all here, and thank you, and I'll speak later. But I have a particular task to do at this point. I just want to take a minute to just talk about the man who has become my partner, my friend, he and his wife, as we worked together for the last 4 years. And when a group of us decided that he was the man to lead our state, back in 17, actually it was late 16, I think it was October 8th when we gave him his endorsement. This man, after I have met with him in Passaic County and throughout the state for many times and got to know him and got to know his love and his passion for this state, and a man that grew up like each and every one of us. He's not an original resident of New Jersey, but he comes from the great democratic state of Massachusetts. He was raised in an average family. He had his first job at 13 years old, washing dishes. And he might tell you that Dad had to go in because they were cheating him out of his pay. He worked his way through Harvard University and, of course, Wharton School of Finance. He had an outstanding career with one of our largest companies in the world in finance and Goldman Sachs. But the one thing is he never forgot about public service. And he's never forgotten what it takes to be a Democrat. Governor Phil Murphy was always involved. In 2008, starting in 2007, he became then candidate Obama's national fundraising chair. Him and then chairman of our party, who was a good friend of both of us, Governor Howard Dean, they put a strategy together that we would leave nobody out in the state of New Jersey, that we were going to cover every state. Being finance chair, Governor Murphy raised the finances to see that President Obama would become president. I would also say he served on many boards throughout the country, but the one that is so important to him, he's always been a national board member when he could legally, of the NAACP. But more importantly, during my meetings and when I decided to endorse him, he says, I want to make New Jersey better. I want to make New Jersey a fairer and stronger state for everyone, all 9 million residents in the state of New Jersey. We're going to work on education. As we know, under the previous governor, our education was underfunded in this state in the tune of some $900 million. He says, I'm going to work on the environment. I believe that people should have a living wage, which is a minimum wage of $15,000. You still need to help him with his legislature to get that passed. And I can tell you, that's it. But he also says to make New Jersey stronger, we have to strengthen our economy. And listen, for the last 1 year next week that he will be in office, I believe it was January 16th, he has worked each and every day. Before I introduce him, I have to apologize for him because he still has to run the state of 9 million people, so he'll be stepping out. He has to leave us. But we're sure honored that he took the time to come back to Passaic County one more time. And I would ask you, please, to greet our great governor, Governor Phil.
I don't know where I would be. I don't know where we would be, whether that be measured in Passaic County or in the state of New Jersey. But I know I wouldn't be here. I want to ask you to join me in getting up one more time for the once, the future chairman, the singular John Curry. Thank you, Chairman. I am so thrilled to be in Passaic County. I love it so much. Hector Laura is my witness. This is the second time I've been here today. We signed a landmark school funding bill that goes a long way toward providing the security that is needed in our private schools and places of worship. Imam Kantanani was with me as well earlier today. Many of the legislators here. It was Omar, I see you back there. It was a big step, so I'm thrilled. We were in the city of Passaic. Hector Laura, thank you for hosting us so graciously, and I'm incredibly honored to be back here tonight. I have the real treat to, I have the real treat to, in a moment, to swear in for yet another term my dear friend John Bartlett. I want to say something, if I could, about the folks who we are honoring tonight, and a comment about Passaic County and a comment about New Jersey. John is an outstanding public servant. I'm honored that he and Kiati and family have asked me to be here tonight for them and with them. It's not my first time. As John reminded me, I was here last time as ambassador, this time as governor. Next time as Archbishop. But I'm thrilled to be here for you, John. And you're joined by some great colleagues who are reelected with you. Sandy Lazara is a leader in this county. She's an educator. She comes from an extraordinary family with a legacy of public service. She's led this freeholder board. Sandy, congratulations to you as well. God bless you. And Assad Akhtar, who I first met when he worked for Congressman Pascrell. He's blazed a trail for Muslim Americans in this county and in this state. New Jersey is the most diverse state by many measures of any state in America, and no county speaks to that more than Passaic County, and Assad is an extraordinary singular example of that. Now, as you may know, that Assad has run now for each of the past 2 years. It seems like 2 decades. He has asked me to announce a special arrangement that he has established with freeholder Pat Lepore, freeholder Terry Duffy, who couldn't be here tonight, and freeholder Bruce James. They have allowed him to rotate through their terms so that Assad will run every single year for the rest of his life. Awfully generous of you. It's very good. I think TJ may have been a part of that arrangement as well. and Danielle Ireland Imhoff, a family with extraordinary tradition. Pastor, God bless you, both in your family that you grew up with as well as the family that Lou represents, who you've married into. And it's in particular, and I say this with all seriousness, what they threw at you from the other side and how base and how low they got. They got just what they deserved. They got their ass kicked. That is not the America that we know. That is not the American values that we celebrate. As Chairman Curry said, one of the great badges of honor I've had was serving as a national board member of the NAACP, not only the nation's oldest, but the world's oldest civil rights organization. Woo! And I say, not necessarily for happy reasons. It is needed now more than ever before. And as I said earlier today, with so many of you at the signing of this bill, it is a solemn responsibility for those of us in leadership positions to set the right tone, because we're all in this together. And I would only pray, as I do every night, that that tone is better set in Washington than it has been. But I know we can set it, and we do set it right in Passaic County and in the great state of New Jersey. I wish, Chairman Curry, to all the representatives here, and there's a passel of representatives, both elected, appointed. There's 2 members of our cabinet, Secretary of State Tahisha Ways in the House, Commissioner of Health, Dr. Sharif El Nahal is in the House. I have the honor of serving with an extraordinary cabinet. But I would say that I only wish that the state could operate as efficiently as Passaic County does. Right? This is, Lauren, I hear that. This is a county that works. It embraces and celebrates its diversity. It works for communities around the county, whether they're led by Democrats or Republicans. We remember in this county that first and foremost we're Americans, we're New Jerseyans, and then we put our partisan hats on. It celebrates faith across its extraordinary diversity. It is ground zero for a state that is the 2nd largest Muslim American population in America and the largest Palestinian population of any state in America. It is a county that balances its books. It understands fiscal responsibility. So I'm here tonight, if nothing else by osmosis, with my fellow colleagues in the State Assembly and Senate and Legislature. And by the way, John Wisniewski is in the House. John, it's a great treat to have you, man. Proving once again, while we, in the Democratic Party, we may go at it at elections, but we have far more in common than that which separates us. But I hope, if nothing else by osmosis, we can bring of some of the magic of Passaic County down to Trenton as we endeavor to lead this great state. I only want to conclude by saying next week is, in fact, as the chairman said, the 1st anniversary of our inauguration. I'll deliver a State of the State address next Tuesday, which I'm really excited about. We have accomplished an enormous amount, a lot more than I ever thought we would have at this point, but we have a long way to go. We're not spiking any footballs. We stand for that stronger, fairer New Jersey that works for everyone, not just for some. We've begun that journey. We've begun it together. Nowhere do you see that more than you see it in Passaic County, but the journey continues. We have a long way to travel. That stronger and fairer frame is said in another way, which I'm incredibly committed to. That you don't make economic progress without social progress, and you don't make social progress without economic progress. They go hand in hand. And so I'm incredibly proud and humbled to lead this extraordinary great state. I'm incredibly honored to be here with you tonight. And with that, John, I'd love to swear you in, buddy. Let's go. Before. so we can pick up some of them. Raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, John Bartlett,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United
of the
States
United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all of the duties
all of the duties
as freeholder to the best of my abilities
as freeholder to the best of my abilities
and understanding.
and understanding.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, brother.
Governor, before you leave, with all due respect, introducing dignitaries is my job, not yours. Next time. Now you can take a picture.
The Ryan Seacrest of Passaic County.
You're gonna be trying to take my
In the second row in seat 1A.
Let's go. Get him up. A team shot here.
All right, at this time, I'd like to call upon the Honorable Gary Sher, Assemblyman from the 36th Legislative District, also the President of the City Council in the City of Passaic, to swear in Freeholder Assad Akbar. Freeholder Akbar.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a momentous night in the great county of Passaic. What an absolute tribute to the leadership of Chairman John Curry. And ladies and gentlemen, what an absolute statement of accomplishment by the voters of Passaic County to elect those wonderful individuals who are before us. My name is Gary Sher, and I have the privilege to represent the 36th Legislative District in the New Jersey State Assembly. And looking around the room, I cannot tell you how I keep on reminding myself that it's one thing to talk the talk and another to walk the walk. I was sitting next to my mayor, Mayor Laura. Mayor Laura is a Latino. And sitting next to him is the mayor of Patterson, Andre Sayed, Lebanese. Standing to my side, my colleague, Assad, South Asian, Muslim, TJs, everyone different, and yet everyone under the same tent, everyone under the same umbrella, if you will. What a wonderful statement. I have the privilege to serve as the first, and so far the only, God willing that will change, as the first Orthodox Jew in the New Jersey legislature. And I am so pleased and honored. I am so pleased and honored that unlike others in Passaic County, we walk the walk. We know exactly who we are and what we are and how to get to the next step. And I have the singular privilege to swear in Assad tonight. Hindu, Jewish, Catholic, Christian, Muslim, we all sit together under that umbrella. We all sit together under that great tent to make a better Passaic County. And under Chairman Curry's leadership, we have done just that. We need to go, as we say in my religion, from strength to strength, from accomplishment to accomplishment. And looking back at the time that Assad has served in this wonderful county, before his service to Congressman Pasquale on behalf of this great county, one can only say that indeed the sky is the limits. He is a man of great talents, of deliberation, of thoughtfulness, of intelligence, and blessed with a beautiful bride and an even more beautiful young daughter. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my singular privilege and honor to swear in Assad tonight. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in these United States and in this state under the authority of the people, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all of the duties as freeholder to the best of my ability and understanding. So help me God.
So help me God.
And finally, I call upon Joe Capo, who is Frio de Lazara's son, to swear Frio de Lazara in.
Do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
and
to the governments established
to the governments established
in the United States and in this state
in the United States and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties as freeholder
and perform all the duties as freeholder
to the best of my abilities and understanding.
to the best of my abilities and understanding.
So help me God.
So help me God.
For those who may be here in Passaic County Tech for the first time, the freeholders are very proud of this facility and the job that they do educating our children. And we are always honored that they are gracious enough to open their doors so that we can have this ceremony here. I'd like to introduce for some brief comments Dr. Michael Parent, Principal of PCTI, to say a few words.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Passaic County Technical Institute. I am Dr. Michael Parent, the proud principal of PCTI. If you've never been here, this is a testament, this institution is a testament to the vision, to the leadership, and to the commitment of our freeholders. Our Board of Education, represented tonight by Mr. Kasha and Mr. Mara Solomon, are here with us this evening. Our Board President, Mr. Al Alexander, and Commissioner, Mr. Glenn Brown. And of course, all of this under the leadership of our wonderful Chief School Administrator, Ms. Diana C. Labasco. Just to, tail on a couple of things that the governor has said and some of the wonderful things that our Honorable Chairman, Mr. Curry, has said. The diversity of this county, I can assure you, is well represented here at Passaic County Technical Institute. More than 3,700 students come here every day. And these students come from every single town and municipality in this county, every ethnicity, religion, and every background we can think of that is here is represented in this school. These students are here because of the vision of our freeholders, our Board of Education, our Chief School Administrator, our incredibly talented faculty and staff, and I am honored tonight to share this time with you, that you can experience our beautiful students as they perform for you tonight a vocal rendition. I thank you for coming tonight. Congratulations to our freeholders. Thank you, Mr. Curry. Thank you to our governor and the department. Thank you for our dignitaries who have taken the time to come here this evening. Please enjoy the rest of the evening. I know that you'll enjoy our beautiful students, and I know that you'll really enjoy the food of our culinary students later this evening. Thank you for coming. It's an honor to have you here.
I will
At this time, because we're running ahead of schedule, so we don't like to run ahead of schedule. We like to run behind schedule. So we're going to add something to the agenda today, but I don't think you're going to be sorry. We are honored to have with us the State Commissioner of Health here this evening, Dr. Sharif Al-Nahal, and he's going to say a few words regarding the Department of Health.
Good evening. Such a pleasure to be here in Passaic County as always. I want to give a shout out first of all to Passaic County's incredible health officer, Charlene. Where are you? In the audience? In case everybody's wondering who's keeping all of you safe and from getting sick, that's her right there. So, really just a tremendous honor to be here to support all of the elected officials in Passaic who are being sworn in today. A close friend of mine, Freeholder Uchter, had a phone call with me sometime during late 2017. And he put the idea in my head of coming back home and serving in New Jersey, and you know, the rest is history, and here I am serving the state back home. So I just wanted to make sure folks are aware that a freeholder right here in Passaic is a lot of the reason why I'm here serving as commissioner. I couldn't be more grateful for him and his service. Of course, grateful to all the dignitaries here, Chairman Curry, so many folks from the Assembly and the Senate that I've had the honor of working with. The Department of Health, first and foremost, supports local health, and I've tried to emphasize that as much as possible. I visited all counties but one. I visited this one, so that's not the one that I left out, but it's been my priority to make sure to visit all counties and meet with municipal leaders in healthcare, because that is where activity happens in healthcare. These are the folks that are keeping you safe, Charlene and so many others here at the municipal level. And it's such a pleasure to really serve them and by extension serve the state in my role. We protect against infectious disease. We have so many initiatives on reducing disparities in health outcomes, maternal child health. The opioid epidemic is huge on my mind, as is the governor, and of course expanding the medical marijuana program, just to name a few things that we're doing. So again, very honored to be here. Thank you for the invitation, and really just an honor to celebrate so many amazing officials today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. All right, the part of the program that we all love, I get to introduce all of the dignitaries that are here today, which is really everyone sitting up here and everyone sitting out there. So let's give you all of yourself. I always preface reading this as I didn't make the list, I just read the list. So if your name has been forgotten, there are a couple of women sitting outside those doors. I suggest you tackle them on the way out. We'll start with the dais, the freeholders. Freeholder Bruce James. Freeholder Sandy Lazara. Freeholder Assad Akhtar. Our First Assistant County Counsel, Kevin McDuffie. Our Freeholder Director, John Bartlett. Freeholder T.J. Best. Freeholder Pat Lepore. And I did want to mention that Freeholder Duffy is not feeling well, under the weather, so I ask that you all keep him in your thoughts and prayers for a speedy recovery. Of course, we have heard from the power broker here in Passaic County, Lou Imhoff. All right, I'm going to do my best now. Our great surrogate, Bernice Toledo. Next to her, our wonderful prosecutor, Camelia Valdez. Our sheriff, Sheriff Richard Burdick. The mayor of the great city of Patterson, Andre Saya. Juanita can introduce Danielle again. Danielle. Never gets old, does it? Assemblyman Tom Giblin. We've come a long way from that beefsteak at Camp Veritas when we first met, when you were but Charles Way's wife. Now we are honored that our own Passaic County, former freeholder, and obviously resident, but dear friend, our Secretary of State, Tahisha Way. I ran into Charles at the ShopRite, and I said, "You're Tahisha's husband." Then I ran the other way. Of course, our chairman, John Curry. We have the director of our police academy and our OEM coordinator, Mr. Bob Lyons. President of ICPC, Omar Awad. Imam Mohammed Kantanani. Assemblywoman Brittany Timberlake from the 34th. Assemblyman Benji Wimberly from the 35th. Also from the 35th, Shavonda Sumter. Former Assemblyman and former State Democratic Party Chair and friend of Passaic County, Mr. John Wisniewski. We heard from the Commissioner. Senator from the 35th Legislative District, Ms. Nellie Poe. Assemblywoman Lisa Swain from the 38th District. Recently re-elected, sworn in over this past weekend. Great borough of Prospect Park, I always like to say our smallest but mightiest, Mayor Mohammed Karula. We are honored to have Senator Cory Booker's State Director, George Helmy. Another recently elected mayor here in Passaic County, from the borough of Bloomingdale, Mr. John Dunleavy. Mayor, thank you. And we heard from them earlier, but two people that are so committed to helping the veterans in our county and in our state, and it is always an honor to be in their presence, Mr. Anthony Mancheri and Mr. John Howard. And my favorite former redheaded freeholder. Good there, Director? Ms. Rhonda Catronio. That was the easy part. We're not done. From the city of Clifton, Councilwoman Lauren Murphy. Sitting next to her, and I apologize because the lights are bright here, our vice chair of the Democratic Party, as I like to say, behind every successful man is a hard-working woman, and we are always honored the work that Barbara Tanis does. I know Mayor Stampone was here, maybe he had a council meeting, I'm not sure, but Mayor Dominic Stampone and Councilman Munir Almeida from Elgin. Mayor James Damiano, I know, was here as well. Councilpersons Chris Vancheri and Councilman Al Kawadi, both recently re-elected in Little Falls. I get the Skidmore Dale. Nobody. We already introduced the mayor of Patterson. We could give Andre say another round of applause, I suppose. Councilman Adnan Zakaria from Prospect Park and Council President Anad Shah. From Ringwood, Councilwoman Kathleen O'Keefe and Councilman Ryan Bolton. From Woodland Park, Councilwoman Tina Gaddy and Councilwoman Rita Pasquarello. Am I missing anybody else from Woodland Park? Is they scared? No, that's it. Yeah. Representing William Pasquarello, Congressman Pasquarello, is Carmen Diaz. Carmen's here, thank you. I think that's it. One more? Oh, you know what? You're right, there is more. Forgive me. Passaic County Sheriff's Department, we have their Undersheriffs Joe Dennis, Undersheriff Mario Racinas, and Undersheriff Lenny Lovely here this evening. Our other educational institution, which we are very proud of in Passaic County Community College, we are honored to have their president here, Dr. Rose. I believe we have our Deputy Superintendent of Elections, Shona Mack Pollock. We also have Associate Vice President of Government Relations for William Patterson University, Mr. Pat Tadeo is here. Pat, thank you. And someone who never misses. She is the most reliable person in the world. We are always honored to have her here. Senior Vice President of Government Affairs for Berkeley College, Ms. Terry Duda.
Good evening, everyone, again. It's common practice to take a moment at the start of a new year to reflect on another year under our belt, but also to look forward to the year ahead and the goals that we want to accomplish. And as I reflect on my journey to being elected as your county clerk, I'm overwhelmed with gratitude. I wouldn't be fortunate to stand before you this evening without the support, mentorship, and guidance of Chairman Curry. Chairman, you saw something in me before I saw it for myself. I'm eternally grateful. I'm appreciative of all your efforts, both in Passaic County and throughout the state and beyond. And I thank you for leading with wisdom and with compassion. Assemblyman Giblin, thank you for administering my oath of office and for all the gold nuggets of wisdom that you've shared with me. I'm grateful to the many elected officials and dignitaries, including Barbara Tanis, our vice chair, who took me under their wing, gave me support, and imparted their wisdom. And a huge thank you to my campaign treasurer, Nadej Allwaters, for making sure that the business was always taken care of. There are so many people who I met or got to know better during the last several months, and I will also be forever grateful for your support. To the phone bankers, canvassers, the men and women who helped me with fundraising, and the campaign staff who worked countless hours making sure that we did everything possible to rock the vote. Thank you all so much. And to Mr. DeNova, our fantastic county administrator, and Matt Jordan, our deputy, thank you both for everything. To my running mates, Sandy, John, and Assad. I was the new girl on the ticket, and you all made this such an amazing experience. I learned something special from each of you, and we had a great time. The experience was so great that it would be my pleasure that, by my math, based on your 3-year terms and my 5-year terms, we ran together again in 2033. And finally, to my family, there's a large contingency of both the Ireland family and the Imhoff family here tonight. I'm proud to be joined by my parents, my sister, my grandmother, aunts and uncles, my mother-in-law, sisters-in-law, brothers-in-law, and nieces. I recently heard someone say that what is modeled in front of us is what is molded inside of us. I know that I'm blessed beyond words because the internal compass that you all have directs the high standards that you model. And I saved the best for last, my husband Lou. Lou is by my side through everything. When I'm weak, you're strong. And you truly are the best partner. I'm proud of the team that you and I made. constitutional offices established by our state constitution. The county clerk, similar to the surrogate and the sheriff, is an elected position, but not legislative in function. These three offices do not pass any laws or vote on any bills. They are service-based offices. And I truly believe that the reason for these constitutional offices being elected and not appointed is because the voters need to have a direct say in choosing who oversees the provision of these types of services. Now, the county clerk's office is limited to very specific but very important responsibilities, including designing the ballots for all elections within the county, issuing ballots to voters who vote by mail, voters who are overseas during elections, and voters who are away on military duty, processing passport applications, issuing ID cards to all veterans living in Passaic County who have been honorably discharged, and recording and filing the deeds and mortgages for all property transfers within the county. These functions are very specific, but they demand that the individual elected have integrity, a value on customer service, and fairness to the customers, who are the residents of Passaic County. And above all, to ensure that the office implements these services in a way best fitting for the needs of the county. Customers who come to the Passaic County Clerk's office are greeted and assisted by one of the 30 employees who make up our office. These professional men and women are diligent and focused on our customers. Many of them are here tonight, and I ask that they stand and be acknowledged. Thank you all for what you do. The office team has welcomed me, and I can't say enough of how thankful I am for the warm reception, and I'm looking forward to working with all of you. By following the examples set by all the individuals I thanked earlier, two historic firsts were made. As I established my leadership team, I happened to bring on the first Circassian deputy county clerk in the history of the United States. And I brought on the first Hispanic deputy county clerk in Passaic County's history. I'm excited to introduce Noisa Tawak and Ramon Pagan, who will both serve as deputy county clerks. The diversity seen in my leadership team is the most diverse in the history of Passaic County's clerk's office, and more accurately reflects the demographics of our richly diverse community. Noisa and Ramon are here this evening, and I ask that they also stand and be acknowledged. Even more important, Noisa and Ramon are superbly qualified with skills that will be invaluable to me as I focus our work in the three areas of increased convenience to our customers, enhanced communication to our customers, and expanded community outreach. I've chosen to focus my initiatives in these areas because I know that they will pay dividends for years to come by better providing the public with a simpler and more transparent way of doing business with our office. This is a snippet of what you will see in the months ahead, and I'm truly grateful for the trust that the Passaic County voters bestowed on me by choosing me to be your county clerk. Thank you.
You know, Danielle, by my calculation, in 2033, you're going to be the only one capable of running. The other two may just be a brisk walk. We're going to have another musical interlude.
There's no place I'd rather be. Stay closer in the sea. As long as you are with me, my heart continues to beat. up the batteries. If you gave me a chance, I would take it. It's a shot in the dark, but I'll make it. Knowing all of your heart, you can't shake me. When I am with you, there's no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. When I am with you, there's no place I'd rather be. Down on a mission to fight our enemies, make it everlasting, so nothing's in between. Easy being with secret simplicity. As long as we're together, there's no place I'd rather be. With every step you take, be open to the bait, strolling so casually. With different names, they gave you another name, switch up the batteries. If you gave me a chance, I would take it. It's a shot in the dark, but I'll make it. Knowing all of your heart, you can't shake me. When I am with you, there's no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. When I am with you, there's no place I'd rather be. If you gave me a chance, I would take it. It's a shot in the dark, but I'll make it. Knowing all of your heart, you can shake me. When I am with you, there's no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. When I am with you, there's no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. When I am with you, there's no place I'd rather be.
Thank you. A couple more people that I'd like to just take the time to introduce. We have members of the PCTI Board of Education here, Mr. Michael Kasha, Mr. Damaris Salomon. Another great facility that the county runs is Preakness Healthcare Center, and we are very proud of that facility, and we are honored to have two people from the Residents Council. They're both residents of Preakness Healthcare Center, and they took the time to be here. Mr. Jack O'Brien, Ms. Linda Wilson, thank you. And one other person I'd like to introduce, because she is very special, Janice Sengel. Janice, raise your hand. Janice is one of our volunteers on our Disabilities Council, and she is a great advocate for people with disabilities. And not for her, for others. And she keeps us here in Passaic County on our toes. And she is responsible for a lot of the improvements and making things more ADA accessible throughout the county. And Janice, I'm always honored, and I always admire the work that you do for people with disabilities. All right, at this time I'm going to turn the program back over to our second clerk, Imha.
Good evening again. May I have the nomination for director for the year 2019?
Yes, clerk, it is my honor to nominate for director Reverend John Bartlett.
And I will second that nomination.
Are there any other nominations? Hearing no nominations, may I have a motion to close the nominations? Second?
Second.
Roll call. Freeholders, Apter.
Yes.
Bartlett.
Yes.
Best.
Yes.
James.
Yes.
Lazara.
Yes.
Lepore.
Yes.
May we have a motion to vote upon the nomination for Freeholder Director?
I'll make that motion.
And I will second it.
Roll call. Freeholders, Apter.
Yes.
Bartlett.
Yes.
Best.
Yes.
James.
Yes.
Lazara.
Yes.
Lepore.
Yes.
Congratulations, May I have a nomination for Deputy Director for the year 2019?
It's my privilege to nominate Cindy Lazara for Deputy Director.
And I'll second that nomination.
Are there any other nominations? Hearing no other nominations, may I have a motion to close the nominations?
I'll move to close the nominations.
Second the nomination, closing?
Roll call. Freeholders, Apter.
Yes.
Bartlett.
Yes.
Best.
Yes.
James.
Yes.
Lazara.
Yes.
Lepore.
Yes.
May I have a motion to vote upon the nomination for Freeholder Deputy Director?
I will move.
Second.
Roll call. Freeholders, Apter.
Yes.
Bartlett.
Yes.
Best.
Yes.
James.
Yes.
Lazara.
Yes.
Lepore.
Yes.
Congratulations, Deputy Director.
Joe, you want to come up and administer the oath as Deputy Director to your mom? Deputy Director Lazara, please step forward.
I state your name.
I, Sandra Lazara,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all of the duties
and perform all of the duties
as Freeholder Deputy Director
as Freeholder Deputy Director
to the best of my abilities
to the best of my abilities
and understanding.
and understanding.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to call upon our Secretary of State, Mr. Isha Wei, to administer the oath of office to our newly elected Director of the Freeholder Board, John Bartlett.
Good evening. Before I begin, I just want to say that there was a fitting song that just was sung by Passaic County Tech Institute, the vocal ensemble, that there's no place I'd rather be. And for me, Passaic County has always been my home, and this indeed is an honor, and it is no other county I would rather be in than here tonight. And I must further say it's an honor to swear John Bartlett in as the Freeholder Director because, Chairman, 10 years ago, I was sworn in as Passaic County Freeholder Director. And I was 20 then, okay? And I have to say that being part of the Freeholder Board has always been one of the most blessed moments and experiences of my life because this board is truly a beacon within this state for integrity and inclusiveness. And for you, my friend, John Bartlett, I know you're going to do this county proud because you are the ultimate servant to all. So could you kindly raise your right hand? I, John Bartlett,
I, John Bartlett,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
and justly
perform
perform all of the duties of freeholder director
as freeholder director
to the best of my abilities
to the best of my abilities
and understanding.
and understanding.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
At this time, I'd like to call upon our chairman, John Curry, to present the gavel to the newly elected director of the Freeholder Board, John Bartlett.
Good evening again. First of all, just give me a minute. First of all, this is a great honor. I want to thank Senator Chairman Wadnowski, my dear friend, for coming up from Middlesex and saying this is very thank you. And of course, thank again all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, what you see here this evening for the success of this party takes a lot of hard work, and I would be remiss if I did not start by asking my municipal leaders to stand for all the work you do to get our folks elected in your communities. Would you all please stand? All the municipal leaders back here. You know, and I will have to thank my behind-the-scenes team, first of all. Some you see, some you don't, and I want to start with Bill Mayer, Ed Farmer, and Keith Furlong for what you guys do to keep me. You're invaluable guys to me in this operation, and you do more than most people know. I have to thank our campaign manager, Brian Yacco, and the deputy, Markeisha Gultry, for doing an outstanding job managing this ticket. You know, and all the many volunteers that it takes a lot of work to organize a campaign of this magnitude. When you have a plurality of an average of 28,000 votes, and when your opponents have spent over $500,000, and you win by that margin, that means that your team, the leaders, the volunteers, all of you, and the voters have done a great job, and it shows how effective this board have been, and I am deeply grateful that you took a young lady and listened to her for 7 months. And she told her story and what she would do as a clerk, and you overwhelmingly elected her. And I can tell you, the county clerk's office and staff, you have a partner. You know, she might be the boss, you know, but she would definitely be a dear friend, because this is about service to the citizens of Passaic County. So I just want to thank them all. I also would be remiss if I did not thank the sheriff. He was not on the ticket, but the sheriff and his team and many of his department members participated thoroughly through this campaign. But all of you, this is a team effort. I'm just a guy that leads the team, and I am grateful to each and every one of you. And I have to say, I always have to embarrass my daughter, who travels with me when she can, for always been by my side and helping me with the stuff when she can drive me when some of the others can't. Jess, thank you so much, dear. And I want to simply say in closing, you know, as I present this gavel to our new director, and of course, Director Bartlett, you know, the gavel is power. It's a symbol of what we're about in America. It's a symbol with you as an attorney understand this more than most people. And I expect you to use it in good faith, and I know you will. You've been an outstanding freeholder, and I want to congratulate you as the director of this freeholder board. I wish you well. I wish you Godspeed this year, and let's have a great, successful year for the citizens of the state.
Good evening. Thank you, Chairman Curry. You are not just our county party chairman, not just our state chairman, you are Passaic County's pace setter. You value education as a transformative force in the life of any young person, regardless of circumstance, and so Passaic County invests in facilities like this one, where today and every day more than 3,000 young people are getting an education to start them on the path of lifetime opportunity. Thank you, Secretary of State Tahisha Way. There's a beautiful synergy and continuity in having you here to swear me in. Fellow Wayne resident, fellow attorney, fellow Brown alum. You served, as you pointed out, as Passaic County Freeholder Director a decade ago, and today your ability and commitment to service have brought you to the highest levels of state government. It means so much to have you here. Thank you also to Governor Murphy, who's been with Passaic County and we with him from the very beginning. It was only 3 years ago that Ambassador Murphy swore me in on this stage, and today Governor Murphy and our legislative delegation are leading our state in the right direction. Thank you to my colleagues for your vote of confidence. Through my law practice and through the regional panels that I sit on, I've gotten a good look at lots of governments. That has given me an appreciation of the marvelous and unique thing that we have built here together over these years. We genuinely appreciate each other's strengths, perspectives, and priorities, and because we support each other and respect each other, each of us and all of us are able to do great things for the residents of Passaic County. Thank you to our county administrator, department heads, and staff. One of the important things government can do is hire good people and let them do their best work. You have a positive impact on the people of Passaic County every single day. And thank you to all of you here. I see hundreds of people in front of me tonight. Hundreds of familiar faces from the campaign trail. We are here. I am here because of you and because of your hard work. Those of you who have been with us from the beginning know who you are, and so do I. Many of you have joined us in the past 2 years, part of the crackling energy and excitement that made Passaic County the crest of a blue wave that swept across our state and our nation. I'm glad you're here, and I hope you stick around. If I start naming names, I won't be able to stop, as Anthony well knows, but I have to acknowledge Passaic County's stalwart Democratic Party Vice Chairwoman, Ms. Barbara Tanis. And the most important thank you is to my family. This path was my choice, but it was thrust upon you, and you took the burden without complaint, or at least mostly without complaint. Dad, I'm so glad you're here with me. You'll turn 80 this year, but you're still practicing pediatrics full-time, because that is the service you were called to. That commitment is the lesson that you continue to teach me, even from a distance. My father and mother-in-law, Dr. Yogesh and Madhu Joshi, are not here with us, but their support and their example motivates and inspires me. Khyati, you are my true north. You are my support and my sounding board, my best friend and my wisest counsel. Starting and ending each day beside you gives meaning to everything in between. I could not do any of this without you. Kedar. Kedar, you have been by my side on the campaign trail since you were no taller than a lawn sign. Now you're almost as tall as me. Please stop growing. No, I'm kidding, of course. Never stop growing. I love the glimpses that I get. I love the glimpses that I get of the man that you're becoming. And I love that from the very beginning you've been a little lobbyist, telling me what more our county could be doing for the next generation. I've had the privilege of serving with 5 freeholder directors. Each of them has exemplified our multifaceted work. Pat taught me frugality. We treat every dollar as if it was our own, and the county budget as if it was our family's budget, because it is. Bruce taught me to listen to our employees whose experience and perspective can tell us what's going right or wrong and what to do about it. Hector's leadership showed me that strength is found not in government alone, but in our partnership with communities of faith and common interest. Sandy exemplifies that most basic truth, that human contact, teacher to student, colleague to colleague, our county's people to the people we serve, is what it's all about. And TJ taught me what I think is still one of my favorite lines about government. At its best, government is boring. Now, the work that government does is also, at its best, vital and urgent and exciting. It makes a meaningful difference in people's lives, and it gives voice to the priorities we share as a community. As I have done before, today I took my oath on an open Bible. Specifically, I laid my hand on the 5th chapter of the Gospel of Matthew. A city built on a hill cannot be hid. In the same way, let your light shine before others so that they may see your good works. In all our faiths, all the diverse belief systems present in this room, light represents the presence of the divine. In my blended Hindu-Christian family, the light illuminates our path in many ways, whether we're saying the Lord's Prayer or reciting the Gayatri Mantra, a sacred Hindu prayer. We do this as a family, rejoicing in God's light as it manifests in our lives. We see it before us in the altar candles at church and in Arti, the purifying light offered to God when we go to temple. In Passaic County, as your representatives, we on this stage have sought to be a light unto others. In the past few years, we have lit flames of equality and justice by adopting the state's first county-level fair and welcoming policy, by standing up for refugees and other immigrants in our midst against those who would exclude and scapegoat them, and by making sure that language is not a barrier to accessing needed government services. With the darkness of hatred, fear, and division still shrouding our nation, we must continue to make Passaic County that city on a hill. Let our county continue to shine its light, to be an example of that most American creed. That we're all in this together. Across lines of race, gender, religion, affection, ability, and economy. And let us do it together, all of us, and all of you, the more perfect union our forefathers and our founders envisioned almost 250 years ago. Let's do it together. Thank you.
All right, this time I'll call upon the freeholders if they have any remarks for the evening. Keep in mind, you're the only thing standing between all these people. Take your time. Yes. Eddie, the microphones are not working.
Oh, then we can't speak.
So I will be brief. Chairman Curry, thank you so much for your guidance and support. You know, 3 years ago when I walked onto the scene here, I walked out of education and into the world of politics. But they go in hand because it's where I learned so much of what it means to be a leader through our education association, our NJEA, PCEA. Vice Chair Barbara Tanis, thank you so much. You've been a wealth of information for me, and I know you've stood by me every day of the last 3 years. To my freeholder colleagues, you guys know I say it all the time. I love you guys. You were here to mentor me. You were here to teach me the ropes, and I've learned so much from all of you. I know that there's more to learn, but I am blessed to be serving with you. Our staff in our office, Lou, Lisa, Jasmine, Marquisha, O'Sheen, everybody, thank you so much because you have my back, and I know that. And my family, you know, I have a very good sidekick, my partner in life, Joe Sheff, who is never shy to give me advice or share his thoughts about how something should be done. And it's always another perspective that I can look at and say, okay, let me think about that. But to my son Joey, who swore me in today, you are my life. I love you. You're my heart. My son Anthony, who I know you haven't seen yet, but when you go across the hall into the gymnasium, you will see him because he's been busy coordinating the food and getting it cooked and out there for everybody to enjoy after this. But most importantly, you know, I think there's this saying that I've often, and we've all heard, there's no I in team. Well, guess what? There's no I in county. And this is the best county that I could ever wish to work with. You know, my colleagues, not only up here with me now, but my colleagues throughout the county, because let me tell you, every single person who works in Passaic County is part of this family. And as our new director said, right, John, that we can't do this alone. We need you. We need you every day, and I do appreciate that. I do appreciate everything that you do for me. I work with you, and I hope that the next 3 years, as we forge forward, that we will continue to build this county to what it is, under the tutelage of our county administrator, Anthony DeNova, Deputy Administrator, Matt Jordan, under the tutelage of John Bartlett, our new director, who's at the helm, who I could be more proud to serve with. I got your back, and I know just like everyone else, we support each other. So I thank you for this opportunity to serve as Deputy Director, but most importantly, this opportunity to work in this county with the people that I work with on a daily basis. I am blessed to be here. I am blessed to just be able to share this with everyone.
Poe from the 35th Legislative District to swear in none other than her daughter, Aina Poe, as a trustee on the Passaic County Community College Board. So let's give her a round.
Thank you very much. Can everyone hear me? I know you heard me coughing, so first of all, ladies and gentlemen, before I have the great honor and privilege of administering the oath of office to my beautiful daughter, who is accompanied here tonight by my grandson, let me take this opportunity, Mr. Chairman, and to all of the distinguished members up here on the dais, and certainly to all of our freeholder board, and most especially each and every one of you, to wish you all a very, very happy new year. But Mr. Chairman, to you especially, thank you so very much. As it's already been said, he has certainly have shown his great leadership in this county, his great leadership throughout the state. I know that we are as close as we are, as dedicated and hardworking as it's been demonstrated and spoken of here because of the leadership that takes place right here in our very own home county, and that's because of you, Chairman Curry. So thank you. Thank you for your commitment and for your leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just say that this is a great honor and privilege for me. I know that Chairman Curry knows my children from when they were very young, but Diana most especially. What are you pointing to, Chairman? Oh, yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. I follow instructions. There you go. Chairman Curry has known my baby, my daughter Diana, since she was, I think, 4 years old. It's been a long time since then, but so I know that we're very, very proud of her. So with no further delay, let me just now ask if Diana would please raise her right hand, place her hand on the Bible, and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state, under the authority of the people, that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of as trustee for the Passaic County Community College to the best of my abilities and understanding. So help me God. Congratulations.
At this time, I'd like to call upon one of the true spiritual leaders here in Passaic County, Imam Muhammad Kandanani of the Islamic Center of Passaic County.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Peace be upon you. Happy New Year for all of you and your families and our great nation. Congratulations for the elected and re-elected and the leaders of Passaic County. Please give them all a round of applause. Chairman, we thank you very much for your leadership. It is an honor to have a leader like you. God bless you. Continue work, and we are behind you. Thank you. As I am the last in this ceremony, so you have to be patient. I will take my time to make my prayer. So please be patient until the middle of the night. Are you ready? Ready. We want to go home after a few minutes. But please pray for your leaders, for our leaders to be guided and to continue serving our community. May Allah bless them, bless their families. It is a hard work. It needs a lot of time. They give time from the time of their families. So we pray for their children. We pray for their wives. We pray for their parents. May Allah bless you, bless your time, and to use your time wisely. My brothers and sisters, let us please open our hearts, our minds, our hands for our God in our prayer. O Allah, O God, who created us all from one father and one mother. Our father is Adam, our mother is Eve. We thank you, we praise you. Make us those who are rightly guided and give us our divine wisdom, because we know anything good in our wisdom is but a reflection of your wisdom. Indeed, you are full of wisdom. Guide and strengthen our leaders, the freeholders, our sheriff, our mayors, all our leaders of this country and the leaders of all countries in the world to embrace what you have prescribed to be lawful and good. Help us to hear and be healed by your words that bring peace and prosperity to our county and our communities. Protect us from what you have judged to be evil, for you are the judge and none can oppose what you have judged. Substitute our ignorance with your knowledge. Substitute our weakness with your strength. Substitute our impatience with your patience, forbearance, and resolve. Substitute our deafness with your hearing. Substitute our blindness with your sight. Substitute our lack of understanding with your wisdom. Guide our children, our families, all our fellow neighbors, brothers, sisters. Live out the bounty of your promise. Give us spouses and children who will be examples of righteousness and comforts to our eyes, hearts, minds, and souls. Guide them to be contributors of excellence to our city, our cities and county and state. Let us seek the home of the destiny, but do not let us thwart our share and the responsibilities of this world. O Allah, we thank you, we praise you, and in this moment, shower us with your mercy, guidance, light, and love. Amen. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.